Hey guys, it's RobJ here, and in today's video I'm going to be starting my new Q&A series that will repeat monthly. Okay, well, let's get into it. First question. Proxy Tree asks, what is your largest colony and favourite species? I would have to say a Phadulia are my largest and favourite, about 200. Okay, Nolan asks, how many colonies do I keep? Well, I currently have 10, with plans to expand another 2 colonies within the next month. Christopher asks, how did you get into this amazing hobby and what was your first colony? Well, my first colony was actually last year's Niger, but within 3 days of having them, I had already ordered another colony, and by the end of that week, I had 2 more large Camponotus species on order from AntKit. How did I get into the hobby? I must admit, I've always been interested in ants and I've always learnt a lot about them. But I would say randomly browsing YouTube, I come across somebody doing a little series on ants, and from that moment, I think about halfway through their video, I was on the website trying to find the same ant nest, and that's how the whole thing started. Okay, Hex Assassin asks, how hard are the Burress species of ants to keep? Well, they're very easy, to be honest. There is obviously a harvester ant, so as long as they have seeds, water, and a relatively dry, although a little bit of damp, in their nest, they will do just fine. They are able to stay at room temperature, but would thrive from a standalone heat source in one of the chambers. Adam asks, have I got any plans to make a multiple queen colony? That's actually a yes. I plan on adding a multiple queen Mesa colony to my collection soon, and also this summer I will also be doing a multiple queen last year's Flavius colony as well. Okay, Raptor asks, how do you feel about ants when they would go searching for food or nesting in your house? Not 100% sure if you mean if my ants got out and went and did this, or you mean wild ants on the outside. So I'll answer both. For wild ants, no ants ever get into my house. I live on first floor, so one up. I have a private garden and all that, so wild ants never get in. And if you mean my own collection, I've never had any escapees, but if I did, I would, I'm afraid, have to hunt them down, and if I couldn't, I'd have to try and exterminate them humanely, but I couldn't have an ant nest getting out of control within my house. Okay, Topuluk 12, I think, sorry if I got that wrong. Can I do a video of catching queen ants? Yes, I plan on doing so. The first day of nuptial flights in my area, I will go out and I will do a video on some tips and actually catching all in one. I hope that answers your question. Okay, Soul Slicer 9000 asks, why did you decide to keep ants in the first place, and why do you like AntKit so much more than other ant companies? This isn't offensive, I'm just interested. Okay, I started keeping ants because I have a huge interest in ants. I always have, with a lot of insects, reptiles, fish, you name it. But ants have always been particularly high up on the level because they look after their young, they've got jobs, they've got grave sites, rubbish dumps, they farm, livestock. There's just some amazing things that ants do, and when I had the opportunity in my own place to collect ants, I jumped at the idea. Why do you like AntKit so much more than other ant companies? Okay, basically, I like AntKit because when I first started out and they had no idea who I was and I wasn't on talking terms with AntKit, no more than any customer, I found them to be exceptionally good with advice, really friendly. The service was fantastic. Even the economy delivery managed to get to me next day, and I don't live near to their base of operations, so I was just impressed and always have been impressed. Anytime there's ever been a mistake, they've always done it at their own cost, and as a customer, I couldn't find fault anywhere. If anything, it was exemplary. So initially, it started off by being just really impressed. And then when I started making videos, I made my first one on another thing. The value for money on the AntKit Starter Kit 3 at the time, because it's changed now, but at the time was fantastic. So my very first video was just an unboxing. Before I even decided to do YouTube, it was just an unboxing video, and that hit off. And so since then, I've been covering AntKit's merchandise. I don't like them much more. I've just had way more contact with them, and there's not that many other ant companies with as extensive range of products as AntKit in the UK. Everybody else either cost me a fortune to post it into the UK, or just the prices are a bit high. So I hope that's explained it a little to you. I am on the fence, so I'll never pull an item down because I like AntKit. It's nothing like that. It's just they're my closest, preferred, and convenience for me. Okay, the Benner2002 asks, do you suggest Whitong nests? Yes, Whitong is my second favourite nesting medium, full stop. It's fantastic for water absorption, and does make an ideal home, and as it's relatively cheap, you can get Whitong nests quite large for quite a cost-effective nest price. But I would almost always suggest acrylic. It all depends on your own preference. Okay, and the last question for this episode, SoulSlicer9000 asks, how do you think would be the best way to keep for Doli colonies? I have a queen with lots of brood right now. I'm personally got a colony myself, and I'm going down the acrylic route, starting with small, moving my way up the sizes until I'm at the very biggest, and then what I will do is I'll just buy the very biggest and stack them. I think ultimately I'll be able to outdo anything else. Otherwise, I might go for a massive natural glass setup when they're in, the millions. But while they're in the hundreds and the thousands and stuff like that, acrylic is definitely the way I'm going. Okay, so that's been my first episode of my Q&A series. The more I think about it, the more I think I'll run this every month to every 2 months. I hope you've enjoyed. I will be improving this, as this is my first episode. A lot of it was done as a trial run, so you know, it should be much better next time. As for the questions, I hope I've answered them as best and understandably as I can for you. And thanks for joining in. Keep an eye out sometime next month for the next gathering of questions. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll catch you next time.